Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the live stream this evening. We've got these Florida results coming in, and yeah, we'll see if Donald's gets above 50%. But the fishback hype, that was really short lived. It's like a fish out of water or something. This is a grilled fish here, man. Jake Collins stole a fishback's votes. Fishback really struggled tonight. Reminds me a lot of Vivek in 2024. What's up, Chuck? Randy Fine. Yeah, I think the reason Bolzarian is doing better, or that's how it's perceived, I don't know what Bolzarian will finish with, but wasn't it already called for Fine? But the reason Bolzarian is doing better is because Fine is such a horrible candidate. He's such an unlikable candidate. But he's still going to beat Bolzarian, even if Bolzarian does a little bit better. I saw Bolzarian tweet out just a screenshot of him being down by like 3 points. It's just a screenshot, just not even cropped or anything. I mean, I guess that's dude's like a boomer at heart. Mhm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Fishback, he campaigned a ton. The problem is you're campaigning for the wrong type of people, and this is what the party is. The party is MAGA. MAGA will still reign supreme. The endorsement of Donald's, the boomerism, the old people voting in a primary versus a general. I mean, a lot of things were going against Fishback, but 10%, that's, I would say, nearly as bad as you would expect based on the amount of effort he put into this. Because you would think, well, he's not going to win, but maybe he gets 20% and things get interesting, and it's, ooh, Groiperism is on the rise in the Republican Party, but at 10%, that's going to be tough to portray. When you got Jake Collins. Jake Collins, I saw him in that debate. He was not impressive. I mean, I thought Fishback was good in that debate, but it just shows you how little the debates even matter. I mean, it's all just about party lines, and these are older people voting in these primaries, and they're all MAGA people. They're going to vote for whoever Trump says to, and he says to vote for Byron Donalds, and Donalds is a politician. I'm not a big fan, but if Donalds is going to toe the MAGA line and he's going to be loyal to Trump, he's going to be rewarded, I guess. It's hilarious how Bolzarian did way better than Fishback. Well, I mean, what is Bolzarian at, like 20%? I don't know if I'd say that's way better. Yeah, I'm sure all the Zionists are supporting that because of what Fishback said about Israel and Donald's opinion of Israel. It's a major victory for the Israel people, the Zionist people. Fishback underperformed. Yeah, I would say Fishback underperformed a lot. I wasn't expecting him to win. There was a lot of people hyping him up though, so I thought maybe he gets 15, 20, 25%. I mean, there were a lot of polls and other primaries that were insanely, missed. Like the polls were way off in terms of the final result. I thought maybe that would happen with this primary just based on the amount of online support that Fishback had, but that's another thing you have to understand. Fishback put in all this work, but it doesn't always translate. Especially if you're trying the demographic you're reaching is younger people. That the vast majority of people in Florida that vote are older and they're retirees. And well, the polls were right on this. The polls were perfect on Donald's, and because they had Fishback probably at around 8 to 12%, honestly. And people thought he was going to way outperform the polls because polls had been wrong elsewhere. But I think the polls were pretty much accurate on the Florida Republican primary for governor. Well, I don't know. What is it? The 6th district? Bolzerian's at 18%. I mean, I don't know if I would say that's way overperforming. Yeah, and he might go down a bit too. He might drop at 67% of the votes, and he might drop back down to around 15%. Probably still outperform Fishback, but you're talking about Fine, who's really unlikable, versus Donalds, who's significantly more likable within the Republican Party. I mean, you're comparing apples to oranges in terms of Donalds versus Fine. So Bolzerian does better because a lot of people don't like Fine. It's a little bit harder for Fishback, but that is an underperformance for sure. People were really hyping him up. Bolzerian didn't even. I mean, look at Casey Putsch at 17%. Now the other thing is you've got some of these people. There's a lot of people. It's a crowded field. You've got this 8%. Some of this would go to Fishback, maybe 4 or 5. This 4%. So you do have some people siphoning off some percentages from Fishback's potential number. And maybe that would have gotten him to 15, 16, because Casey Putsch, it was really just him and Vivek. But Casey Putsch, I think, got around 17%. Fuentes was pushing Bolzerian. Now, he doesn't like Bolzerian. He was pushing Fishback, not Bolzerian. Well, Bolzerian is a man-child. Dan outperformed Fishback due to name ID. I don't think anyone knows Bolzerian like that. I think it's just because people dislike Fine that much. The candidate quality of Fine versus Donalds, Fine is significantly worse. That's what I would say about that. Fine is really unlikable to a lot of people. Some of the stuff he said, like the Israel First stuff. But I mean, he does vote on to the right of on a lot of shit. But obviously, he has an extreme loyalty to Israel. How come Nick and Dan hate each other? Yeah, there's a lot of things that like that happen in coalitions and things like that where people you'd think that they're on the right, but with Bolzerian, he's just not a serious person, and he does the whole Muslim Christian alliance and things like that. He's just Bolzerian is really not someone you want to be associated with, honestly. He has 20 million followers on Instagram. That's irrelevant. That is completely irrelevant in a primary for a specific district in the state of Florida. The followers on Instagram, number one, most of those I'm sure are either fake or inactive with how long Bolzerian's been in the public light. But Bolzerian to me isn't even really much of a public figure. Like the thing that people have to understand with these internet people, it's like just because they get like 5,000 likes or whatever, it's really irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really mean anything. It's hard for people to separate internet from actual real life voting. Dearborn. Yeah, I saw there was something happening in Dearborn with Jake Lang, I think. Yeah, but then you've got all these markets here, and I mean, this just goes to show you. Oh, so now it looks like they think Fishback is going to get above 10%. So I mean, yeah, it's still not a great performance, but looks like they've got him at 10 to 15, probably settling around 10% of the votes. Just in terms of the way it's counted, it kind of fluctuates a little bit. I mean, there was an expectation that he would get around 25% a few weeks ago, or I guess a month ago. But yeah, I mean, none of these betting markets had Fishback with any type of chance to win. It was just all online stuff. It was theater. Like, as more volume dumped into this market, and there's so much talk about these markets, and people get so angry about them. And I mean, this is just simply the demand for Donalds to win is high, and the what it's going to produce is the amount of people putting money on Donalds create him at a 98, 99% chance to win. That's basically all it is. Now, I guess it can be manipulated, but once the volume reaches a certain amount, it's very hard to manipulate a market to any crazy degree. Like once the volume reaches a few $1,000,000, I mean, you have to seriously invest a significant amount to propagandize like a poly market election odd. But it's pretty much always been Donald's. I mean, there really isn't a change, and people get angry about these odds, but I mean, it's just based on high demand for based on polling. Donald's winning. I mean, most people knew that Donald's had a very good chance of winning. I mean, look at the volume on Fishback at over 6 million. I'm guessing that's a bunch of people betting against him, but vote for Hillary. I wasn't even eligible to vote. I wasn't even old enough. Matt Gaetz. That makes sense. Dan Bilzerian loses. We'll see what the margins are there. Fuentes and Carlson endorsement. The internet told you Fuentes Carlson endorsement was worth more than Trump's. Did Carlson endorse? I don't think Carlson talked about the Florida, but I know what you're saying. You know, if you're terminally online, this type of stuff can happen where people think, well, because Fishback ratios Donald, he's gonna win. I mean, people unironically believe that. DSA candidate in Florida lost. In what? Just a district? I didn't really know a DSA candidate was running in a Democratic primary, I'm guessing. Carlson endorsed Fishback when he was on his podcast. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a while ago. I don't even remember that. I guess you're right. Dude, honestly, I'm sorry, but if you support Bilzerian, it's a poor reflect on you. I mean, that is not a smart person, and that is not a serious person, and it's kind of embarrassing. How's Fishback doing? He's probably going to finish with 10 to 12%. Maybe he gets up to 12%. Donald's, I don't know if Donald's get to 50%. Fishback was a New York plant. I don't think he's not from New York, is he? No, he's from Florida. I think that he moved to DC, and that's why people were talking. You know, where his residency was DC, and that's what people said. DSA Senate candidate one. He's barely literate. Bilzerian, yeah, he's just not a serious person. DSA candidate beat Trump whistleblower and Dem senators race. Well, that's good for the Republican Party. If the DSA candidate, well, it doesn't even matter in Florida, I would say, though. I don't think there's any way the Democrats win a Senate seat. You think if Bolzerian ran sometime in the 2030s, he can win? Nick, I'm trying to help you, man. I highly doubt he's going to be in politics within the next year. It's just embarrassing. I mean, I think he might have done one event in total during the campaign. I mean, it's there's I don't there's not an election in 2034. The 2034 is the midterms. Donald's is losing percentage. So Donald's will finish. I mean, I think Donald's will beat Jolly pretty easily. Florida is just too Republican. It'd probably be closer, obviously, than DeSantis in 22, his reelection. What did DeSantis win by like 20 points in 22? I think Donald's will probably win by about 13 or 14 points, honestly. Maybe a little bit less. Yeah, you're moving. You have your flight to Orlando. I mean, dude, it's just you're talking out of your ass again. Neocons don't campaign or debate; they still get elected because they have Trump's endorsement. The party's controlled by MAGA. That's what people have to understand. The Republican Party is controlled by MAGA. Until that changes, the vast majority of people, 99% of people that get endorsed by Trump within Republican primaries are going to win. And they have the MAGA infrastructure support. Florida Democratic primary today, yeah, they both are. Influencers will almost always lose political elections. Yeah, if they don't, I mean, they don't know what they're doing, and they have the wrong type of beliefs. But a lot of it comes down to whether or not they've got the establishment support. Yeah, Jay Collins took a bunch of votes. Lieutenant to DeSantis. I saw Jay Collins debate. He was not a very competent person from what I saw. But not that it matters. He's not going to win. MAGA was supposed to overthrow the neocons. Well, it's kind of been a mess. Like they've gotten rid of some of them, but they're still within the party. I mean, technically the establishment is different from MAGA. To be fair, Matt Gaetz will be the 2028 AF candidate. I don't think so. You want to see Fuentes' reaction? Yeah, his candidate got crushed, so he can't be too happy about this. He was trying to hedge by saying, he didn't think Fishback would win, but he thought he ran a good campaign. Do you think Trump selling early access to tweets truth may be impeachable? Yeah, they're gonna impeach Trump on some type of corruption, 100%. Not that it matters. He's not gonna leave office. Eric Trump was the one in charge of that. Eric, yeah, Eric has. If you're invested into something Eric Trump is in, I would probably say it's time to leave that investment. I'll just leave it at that. I'm nowhere near Ohio. I'm nowhere near Ohio University. If Acton, yeah, he's just hedging with Acton for sure. I mean, Acton has a 50% chance to win. I still think Vivek probably, maybe it's like 51-49 because the state's more Republican in general. You can say Vivek is more unlikable than Acton, but the year, the environment is going to go against Vivek, but Vivek probably still has a 50% chance to win. I mean, and Vivek's going to spend more money. How close am I to Pennsylvania or West Virginia borders? No, I'm not very close to the borders of those states at all. I'm like in between. I'm like in between Cleveland and Akron, basically. GOP can still win the House if Dems can't start being fake normal soon. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think it's going to be tough to win the House, and it's probably going to require let's be some luck and I don't know the administration calming down Iran, and it just seems unlikely based on what they've done, the current environment. No, I don't. I don't live in Broadview Heights. I don't know about the guessing game, but let's not do a guessing game on the city I live in. I haven't been into Akron in a while. I've only went there maybe once, honestly, for a Akron Zips game. I think that's the only time I've been to Akron for a minor league baseball. What is Akron Zips Double A? Yeah, I'm tired, but people keep asking about it, but I'm just not gonna say anything about it anymore. Fishback was never gonna win Trump 2028. Yeah, Fishback, that's about as bad as it can. I mean, you could say maybe him finishing in fourth place behind Renner would be the worst case scenario. Bobby Williams randomly getting 4% of the vote. But it's close to as bad as as bad of a result as you would expect for Fishback. I would say maybe would be like 7 to 8%. He's at 10% now. 87% of the voted. Maybe he gets to 11%. Medina, no. The Trump 2028 guy. Groyper's crying. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty abysmal performance. And you know what? Again, you guys remember when Vivek Ramaswamy was campaigning every single day and he was out campaigning all the others for the Iowa caucus back in 2024, the Republican primaries, and Vivek ended up getting 4% and dropping out immediately. If you really think about it, I'm not saying people shouldn't work hard on the campaign trail, things like that, but outworking everyone doesn't really give you any doesn't give you a lot. You have to attract the right voters, basically, because you outwork people in a state like Florida and it's just a bunch of young kids and the electorate's really old. It's not going to really matter. And Donald has all the MAGA support. Nobody expected Fishback to win. I don't know if they, I mean, there was a lot of people that thought he was going to be competitive. I don't think maybe they didn't say he was going to win, but that's a bit of a revisionist history to say that nobody thought he was. I mean, there's a lot of people that were like, he's got a chance or he's going to get 25, 40%. You're surprised he didn't even win one county? Well, I was thinking about it. It's like for Fishback, there's really no exact place where he could do really well because the rural voters, you would figure they're normally older and it's like where would I guess Fishback would do well with younger people in like a city, but if there's a lot of people in the bigger cities, so I don't. It's just like there's really no singular place where Fishback would have dominance. War in Ohio. I'm really not close to War in Ohio. Chipotle. I don't know about Chipotle, man. I don't know. I gotta find something to eat though. That's for sure. Fishback will be back. He made his name in the sphere. That's all that matters. Well, I mean, he's got some type of political America First thing, but I don't know what that translates into. I mean, he's definitely got the work ethic, that's for sure. No, not Hudson. Will he be the first black governor ever elected in Florida? I don't know the history on that. Glenn Youngkin, Dark Horse 2028. Glenn Youngkin may be a VP. They would have to really moderate themselves to go to Youngkin, I would think. You made spaghetti. Yeah, spaghetti is good. Spaghetti is. I haven't had spaghetti in forever. Spaghetti and garlic bread. That's what my mom used to make. Oh, I remember when I used to have spaghetti with, oh, that bread. That had to have been really bad for you, though. We had this bread one time. It was insanely good. I gotta start making home cooked meals. They're actually better. You know, at a certain point, you eat out all the time. The home cooked meals are actually better. They just taste better. I don't know. I gotta go out shopping and get some stuff. Fishback will go down as the most influential losing candidate in recent political history. Claims Politico. Yeah, that's a hard thing to claim when he's at 10%. I mean, I think he ran a I don't know if I can say effective campaign. I mean, maybe effective for his future, but this specific campaign, it was the result was pretty poor. I mean, I guess you could say, well, he could be in fourth place and that would be worse. Yeah, I don't know about anointing him after this performance. Yeah, I mean, I can make simple things because I would when I was younger, I'd make things. The problem is when you include a bunch of ingredients and stuff. That's where I kind of like I could make spaghetti and things. Maybe not from scratch. Maybe not from scratch. What do you think are the odds that Dan says Israel rigged it? I don't know, 69% chance. It's like, who cares? I mean, he was never going to win, even though Fine is. Did you see the thing that came out about Randy Fine from TMZ? He was snooping through somebody's mailbox. Randy Fine, he's just a weird person, man. They say JD Vance is a weirdo. That dude's a weirdo. A mean bowl of rice. You got to be patient with rice when you make it. What was that one thing? I remember when I had something with rice. It was so good, but it was like with a sauce within the rice. It was like, I don't remember. Mhm. Fishback's about to speak. Yeah, I'm sure if, he'll give a nice concession speech. Yeah, the JD Vance was weird stuff. It obviously didn't stick. Did not work. What are the odds Dan Bilzerian blames his loss on Fuentes? He's irrelevant. I mean, it's not going to matter. It's just not a serious person. He didn't even try in his district. I mean, at least Fishback put forth an effort. But I mean, I was somebody that really said Fishback was going to lose. I said he would lose by a lot. People asked me yesterday or 2 days ago. I said he wasn't going to win. Some people I saw, they said that Fishback was going to do well, and they said, oh, these numbers say that Joel Webbin is out doing videos talking about how Fishback is within 5 points. It's like, dude, what are you looking at? Fuentes has no influence. Well, he didn't have much influence in this election. He was kind of lukewarm on endorsing Fishback. I mean, I don't think it would have made any difference though. But like, Fuentes. There's just they say that Groypers are taking over the Republican Party. It just seems like it's fully controlled by MAGA to me. And if MAGA loses, maybe they can have their chance. But it's just hard to say that. And maybe Fishback, I guess, gets to 11%, but TMZ Randy Fine video clip. Yeah, I don't even know what that was. They brought it up. Wow, Donalds is gonna slip below 48. I don't even know if that matters. I mean, I think Florida's a Republican state. I guess DeSantis is gonna have to endorse Donalds. DeSantis held off on endorsing Donalds. It shows you the candidate quality or lack thereof of Donalds. But now DeSantis is probably gonna have to endorse him. He wants a Republican to win, I'm sure. Against Jolly. Why didn't DeSantis' wife run? Yeah, the thing that I heard is basically, they have kids and Ron is contemplating running for president in 2028, so he didn't want to have his wife be the governor while he was running for president with their kids, and maybe that's not right, maybe that's wrong, but that's basically what I heard. Because she's not running. But I mean, everyone thought she was going to be the person that Ron would pick, and it would kind of continue the DeSantis dynasty with DeSantis approval rating in Florida. And this thing's kind of worked out weird to where DeSantis is really loved, but he doesn't have anyone. He didn't endorse any of these people. So yeah, DeSantis is probably running for president in 2028. I'm not saying he's going to do well. It's just what I heard. They have kids, and so they didn't want Casey DeSantis to being the governor while he runs for president, and the family becomes hard to operate that. What a shame she would have won. Oh, 100% she would have won. 100%. Well, I don't think Donalds would have ran then. This is probably an opening for Donalds because everyone thought Casey was going to run. So Donalds just takes advantage of it. And yeah, I'm not the biggest Donalds fan, but if he's doing the whole MAGA touting and toting or whatever, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, that's what Trump just endorses people that outright support him. And well, I would want DeSantis on the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the retirements to make that happen. But I think DeSantis probably is just going to run. I mean, maybe he works with the administration in some capacity when he leaves. You're right. That could happen. But I don't know. I mean, if he's going to run in 28, I mean, I guess he could use that year and a half, 2 years to get more clout within MAGA by working for the administration or with the administration. Donalds is the better candidate. Then who? Fishback or Casey DeSantis? How big of a supporter? To me, DeSantis probably would be in between Vance and Rubio in terms of that type of thing, Nick. You know what I'm talking about? Like Rubio being the neocon in that scenario, DeSantis in between, and then Vance being more so against. Although I wouldn't say Vance is necessarily, anti-Israel or anything, but just comparing those three, I would probably approximate DeSantis would be in the middle. But DeSantis is probably more so closer to Rubio, although I don't know. I mean, you're like splitting hairs. You're moving your law firm. Oh, that's why no, now that makes sense. Okay, I thought you were lying at first, but now you're saying you're moving your law firm. So now I believe you. And listen, if you're wealthy, you're a lawyer and you have your own law firm. I mean, I'd like to be a part of that if I could. Seems like a good financial opportunity for me. Thoughts on Ossoff in 2028? He's like this like beta boy, like he says he's the straight version of Pete Buttigieg. These people are just not serious. Yeah, when he wore the boots. It's unfortunate because he's about 5'11". He shouldn't have done that. It makes you look insecure when you do that. You wear the lifts. No, DeSantis is definitely not far right. Definitely not far right. You're gonna give me 3% of the revenue? Well, what is the monthly revenue? Is the monthly revenue like 100K? DeSantis is smart as hell, definitely smarter than Vance and Rubio. Yeah, I mean it's hard to really judge. Vance only, I mean Vance has so much in comparison to either Rubio or DeSantis. He's just less experienced, so it's hard to really judge him. 200K, so I get 6K a month. I don't know, 6 people. I don't know. I could fit 6 people. Vance and DeSantis should take IQ tests. Well, I think everyone in the administration should take an IQ test, so we can at least get a gauge on how smart our politicians are. I mean, you'd figure that would be something it happens, but they don't even do that. I don't think. But I know Trump had a very high IQ relative, and I mean, I'm sure it's gone down. He's a bit older, but I think Trump's IQ was measured at around 130, honestly, when he was younger. Oh, you'll bring sleeping bags? So your employees will just sleep on the floor? Your employees who presumably make a bunch of money as lawyers will just sleep on the floor? The IQ test would be the biggest black pill. Well, I mean, we should know to a degree how smart people are if they're going to be running the country. I mean, I don't know if an IQ test or whatever they want to do, but yeah, no, Trump was definitely smart for sure. Well, I mean, I had said that Bolzarian would get crushed and that Fishback would lose by a lot. I just didn't give a percentage on it, but Bolzarian is claiming his election was stolen. Yeah, maybe Mossad hacked it. I mean, come on, this is just tiring at this point. David Jolly gets 61. Well, David Jolly at 61, so they might be able to form a coalition around him better than the Republicans with Donalds. But Republicans have just such a big advantage in Florida. I don't think it'll matter at this point. Oh, Bolzarian stayed at 18%. Aaron Baker 13. Fine got over 50. Looks like all of the different counties basically had their exact same. $1.6 million primary voters compared to 1.2. Yeah, well, something like that. And I'm not saying that's not a good sign, but because there was a lot more money within the Republican primary, the Democratic primary was a foregone conclusion that Jolly was going to win. You're like comparing apples to oranges in terms of turnout a little bit there. I mean, if you're going to have one primary being a lot more fiery, there's probably going to be a higher turnout than another one that's already decided, basically. Not that again, that Florida's not Republican, but you do have some of that. Where if there's one primary that a lot of money, like a bunch more money spent in terms of the ads, you're probably going to get a better turnout. But Florida, it's not even a swing state. What are you thinking for the Collins stream? Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. I mean, as long as people just are, just as long as people aren't assholes about it. I don't think YouTube would do anything to me. There's just don't want anything to happen. He's a sweet, kind man. He's a sensitive young man. Fishback is gonna call in and ask if I voted for him. Dude was calling everyone.
NBC News projects that broadcaster Ryan Elijah has defeated Republican Congressman Corey Mills in the primary in Florida. NBC
Oh, I like to say this restoration of these columns. They're still working on that. Wow. Or did it get finished? All right, man. And that, like the joke, come on. Thoughts on Hassan thanking Candace Owens for spreading Charlie Kirk's narratives? Yeah, I mean it's obviously very bad what she's done. Because the left killed Kirk and then celebrated it, and Owens spreading all these conspiracies because it makes her money is only dividing Republicans in terms of the inability to blame Democrats properly. Is it too early to decorate for Halloween? Yeah, I think like the beginning of September is probably the cutoff. I think August, it's kind of like, I don't even, it doesn't even feel, I mean, even in September, it's warm as hell most days. But at least in September, football is back, so that kind of signals the fall a little bit. August it's pretty aggressive. Yeah, there were people that had like Halloween stuff up, and me and my mom were. It was kind of surprising. It was a bit early. You can't decorate Halloween until October 1st. You can stretch it a little bit into September. You can get into September a little bit. Spirit Halloween has already opened. Yeah, every year. Every year. Have you seen the Cattell Marte? No, I haven't seen that. Cattell, what is that? Yeah, there's some weird. I'm not gonna say anything, but I remember Cattell Marte got really mad at people for like making fun of his mom or something. People who do year-long Christmas lights are insane. Oh, I 100% agree. Terrible. What? Imagine living in a house and the Christmas tree. I can't do it. It doesn't even, because then there's no payoff. There's no payoff to the Christmas tree being up, and that's signaling that it's the holiday season. If you've got the Christmas tree up year round, if you got, I see people with Christmas lights. It's very rare, but I always have to make a point and be like, that's just bad. It's just, it tarnishes the actual meaning of the lights. It really does. First day of fall is not, I mean, the official first day, it's like, I think the first day of fall to me is probably like mid-September. No, early September, because I'm not gonna call September summer. Like I just don't think. I mean, technically the weather is probably more summery, but I say like September 15th to me is like the start of fall. Really, it depends on the weather and your climate, I guess. But I just gauge it by the weather. Cattell Marte didn't show up for the game yesterday, and then the manager said post game he didn't even know if he was still in Boston, and he was almost crying. Ugh, that's a weird situation. Who in September says let's go to the beach? Well, people in LA. We don't even have a beach here. I mean, I haven't been to the beach in many years. Labor Day. Yeah. Early September. It can be 70 degrees in October. Oh, 100%. Yeah, the high can be like 70, and there's nothing wrong with a 70-degree day. 70's fine. 70's really nice. But it's annoying when it's like 80 in September. I mean, I would imagine people go to the beach in September in LA. No beach in 10 years. I don't know, man. I mean, if you don't live near a beach, it's kind of hard to go to one. Go to the Great Lakes. Those beaches, I mean, I think Michigan probably has the best beaches. I don't know, though. But a lot of the beaches there suck. The sand sucks. I mean, I've been to Lake Erie. The beach is horrible. The sand is really coarse. It's bad. Do not swim in Lake Erie. I already have swam in Lake Erie before when I was younger. People swim in Lake Erie. You want to move to North Carolina? Yeah, North Carolina has a nice climate. Virginia has a pretty nice climate. South Carolina, maybe a little bit too warm in South Carolina for me. You live in Buffalo. Yeah, I mean, it's not good. It's not ideal. People still go, though. GTA 6, like, I mean, okay. Well, Comey was very obviously referencing 8 feet down, 6 feet wide with the post in a snarky way. Trying to be like funny or cool, I guess, with a code. I can't handle North Carolina summers. Yeah, it's probably a lot hotter there, honestly, than here. I mean, it's hot everywhere in the U.S. Really. Like, it's hot in Ohio. I would not day trade, but everyone has their own thing. What if Romney won in 2012? Well, the establishment would control everything. Take a trip to North California. I mean, I'd go to Northern California. That's a conservative area. Yeah, Europe gets basically no sun. That's why the solar panels don't really work in Europe. The renewable energy is just not great there. They just get no sun hours in Europe. It's pretty remarkable. And America just gets plastered with sun in comparison to all of Europe. Outside of like the really southern areas in Italy and maybe like Spain. Wind farms. Yeah, but US still has a ton of wind here too. Wind farms are going to do very well in the US. Look at the Great Plains. The amount of wind is in Texas is crazy too. I've been to Oracle Park once. Yeah, it's a really nice stadium. That was when it was AT&T Park though. Does Ohio get tornadoes? Not often. I think it might be more so the Ohio Valley. So maybe they do, but not where I'm at. Not really much at all. There might be like one threat every like 10 years, honestly. I mean, we get bad storms. There's no question about that. We get bad storms and then also really bad wind in like March. You've been to New Bills Stadium. It's nice overhead. You went to for what, a practice or for that preseason game you went there? Yeah, I mean, something like that is probably just going to be overhated because people don't like new things. But it's also one of those things where every team is building an indoor stadium, they build an outdoor stadium, so they people kind of pile on and say, "Well, this isn't a futuristic stadium, so it's not good." I think a lot of that is what's going on with that Bill Stadium stuff. But I also think it is problematic. There was a bunch of exposed concrete on the interior of that stadium that I thought they were going to cover up, and they haven't. It was nice today. Yeah, it has been pretty sporadic, the weather. It just in August, ever since August began, it's like always a 30% chance of rain. Today was a bit better. Today was sunny for most of it. You went to the preseason game. You're also doing a tour on the 31st of the locker rooms and suites press box. That's cool. A brand new stadium tour. Yeah, that's sweet. Because everything's gonna be brand new and probably state of the art, newest technology they have there. Will we ever see World War III? Yeah, we'll see it eventually. It's not worth talking about because what is just random? It's like talking about the Civil War, the second Civil War. Like what's the point? Honestly, unless you have some crazy like data that you can bring on like the probabilities and based on what's happened and like you can't nobody knows the political levers that are involved in the next what's going to start World War III or you know the second Civil War. Tips on how to quit caffeine consumption. Well, what is it? You just need caffeine to operate? Is that what it is? Like you've got your body's become accustomed to it, and if you don't have it, you feel like shit. No, that's very common. Very, very common. Uh I mean, I don't want to say just quit, just stop taking. I mean, I guess try and phase off of it maybe. I don't know. Just have like half. Fishback and other Groiper adjacent candidates will win nearly every primary in 15 years. Fishback did incredibly well among the Florida youth, but youth are very. I mean, what were his numbers with the youth? Do we know what the numbers were? I'd be kind of curious to see how well he actually did with the youth. Yeah, I can make scrambled eggs. I made scrambled eggs before. Yeah, I did hear about that trends with the 7-year-olds. The house was less than a mile from your house. Yeah, I remember the Ariel Castro thing. That was fucked up. Yeah, I do think they're gonna have problems with Taiwan. They're gonna have issues with Taiwan. They know it. That's why they haven't done anything yet. Do you need to be a registered Republican to vote in Florida? That may be why Fishback lost. Not a lot of Zoomers are registered. Yeah, I don't think so. I think these margins are so high that that excuse doesn't really work. The margins are too high, man. I mean, if he had gotten like 25%, you could say something like that, but closed primary. Closed primary, so if you're not a registered Republican, you can't vote, which makes sense. I mean, it's a Republican primary. I always thought that was dumb when they had open primaries. But when they do have closed primaries, that does help the establishment, to be fair, or MAGA, I guess, in this case. Because you don't have potential, like, independents saying, oh, this person's, I want somebody new. Some people think World War III has already started. It's slop. World War III is start. It's like, okay, the end of the world has technically started, and because the sun is eventually going to become a white dwarf or whatever, the world's gonna end. It's like saying that. I don't know if you can. I think Ukraine will continue to do whatever they've been doing against Russia. I mean, unless they completely run out and exhaust themselves. We wouldn't know if we're in a world war until it gets really bad. I mean, that it is crazy. I mean, that's an interesting statement. I mean, if there's an invasion of a major country, I don't think necessarily immediately would be really bad. But I think there then people would start saying, because think about how wars get declared, and there's something like a world war, it kind of just gets it evolves into it. I don't know if it would be extremely bad right at the beginning of it. I'm just thinking about World War II. I know it's a different time, but what do you think would happen tomorrow if Russia said we'll take back the sale of Alaska and it's ours? They wouldn't be able to take it from the United States. They would have no chance of taking it, especially with their war with Ukraine. They have no means to take Alaska back. It's not possible. They're not powerful enough. The US is too powerful. The US has too many allies. How important is it to learn how to defend oneself at a young age? It depends the type of situations you're in. I mean, I think it's important. It's important for anyone, I guess. I mean, it's a generic answer, but a lot of it depends the type of situations. I mean, some people need it more than others if they're in chaotic situations constantly. Florida first pack from Pakistan. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know. That's not good. They don't want it. Well, I mean, they definitely could utilize Alaska. They got, you know, they sold it for a very bad price, but the U.S. also had to develop Alaska. That takes a lot of investment itself. So much of Alaska is still uninhabitable, anyways. So, but it just has so many resources. But so does so much of Russia, anyway. In general. Dan got more votes. He got more of a percentage, but he wasn't running in a national state level. He was running in a specific district. Turkey considered an ally. Well, they're in NATO, so I guess. What happened with Greenland? Yeah, they hate Trump. They didn't want to give it to him. Chicago statehood. What do you mean, Chicago, Illinois? Becoming its own state? I never heard of that. Do you have a salad? I never have salads. Is the Iran war big enough to call the Trump's second term a failure? Well, it's more so the symbolism of it, with everything that Trump said about no new wars, and then you have a Middle Eastern war. That's a big problem, right? Let's not try and sugarcoat it. Now, we could maybe say it's only one aspect. There's a lot of good on the border and things like that. National Redhead Day, November 5th. I didn't even know. Yeah, I have heard the Ukrainians are really good with drones. I'm open to trying to maybe eat a massive. Where's a good place to get a really good salad from? I don't know, man. I can't eat. A salad's not going to fill me up, though. It's just not. I can't have salad for an actual meal. The only place I think of salad is like Panera Bread. Wendy's. Wendy's really they have is it healthy? Chipotle salad. Oh, Chipotle has salad. What there? I don't like their lettuce. Oh, the other thing is there is a lettuce problem. It's contaminated, so maybe it's probably not a good idea. There's contaminated lettuce going around. Maybe that's over by now, though. Chick-fil-A salads. The thing is with salads, I just need the lettuce has to be good. I don't like Chipotle's lettuce. I think it's like it's too chewy. Honestly, it's not hard enough. It's not gonna say anything. You're eating two spicy chicken sandwiches. Two spicy. It's more than 900 calories for two spicy chicken sandwiches, brother. I mean, unless you made them at home or something, but with the buns, that'll run you probably 1,200 calories, 1,100. I mean, maybe if you don't have any sauce. I'm not eating a spicy chicken sandwich. I haven't had one of those in forever. You need some type of sauce with that. Oh man, I remember eating those in school. Yeah, I have to have iceberg. I have to have iceberg, but even I think the Chipotle iceberg I don't even like. Crypto Bull Run. Yeah, it's gonna be quarter one of 27. Quarter one or quarter two of 27. So just wait for the drop, and then we just deploy all of our capital. We just deploy into safer assets, and then we can't lose. Knock on wood. And then we just buy proxies to Bitcoin, and we get like a 3 times multiplier compared to Bitcoin. Spicy chicken. You like spicy? I mean, spicy chicken. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I know spicy chicken became pretty popular with the fast food places. I don't know. I just do regular chicken sandwiches, but chicken sandwiches are really not good for you if it's, I mean, unless it's grilled. And again, I said this one time on stream. I got the grilled chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. It was disgusting. And I think it was because of the bread. The bread was wheat. It was wheat bread. But man, was it disgusting. Maybe if I had normal bread, it would be better. But that grilled chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A, they say you gotta, you eat healthy and all this, and kids quesadilla, $5. That's a good price. Culver's, Chick-fil-A. I think Culver's and Chick-fil-A are good, but it is slop. I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. BMNR at $18. I'm trying to get the 2x multiplier ETF of BMNR. Bitmine. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But didn't it just go up because they bought more? So I probably don't have an entry. Fast food is killing America's health. Oh, it for decades. Look at the obesity rate. New York Times wouldn't even be the first ones to break something like that, bro. Would you go to a Cincinnati Reds game? I mean, if I was in the area, I would. It's still below $20. Ethereum Treasury, they own 5%. Yeah, no, I know. It's a proxy to Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Ethereum's going to do this cycle. It was just so bad the last cycle. I'm looking to get into the Strive. Maybe Strive will outperform Strategy, but it's a bit more risky. Yeah, I know the US has a bunch more ingredients to make it taste better, but it's bad for you. I don't really have any advice for. I don't have any advice for that. I'm not a big fan of Olive Garden. When we went to Olive Garden, it was dirty. I haven't been to Olive Garden in years. When we went, it was dirty. The breadsticks, I guess, are fine. I don't know. The one near us is dirty. Your neighbor's morbidly obese. He's a really sweet man. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, there's a few potential dark horses for 28. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Let's say you're 23 in college. What's the lowest age you can chase tail without being weird? I mean, it depends the social dynamic. I don't think it's that weird, but again, teenage fans. Well, for teenage fans, ah, it's hard to say. I guess you gotta get, you gotta get credentialed, I guess. But it's not what I did. But you gotta try and it's like you try and tell people the most the to go the route that has the highest chance of a success rate, basically. But if you go that route, your chances of doing anything extraordinary decrease significantly. I don't know if that makes sense. Vance or Rubio? I'd say Vance. Fishback should have scaled down his campaign to run for House in Fines District. Yeah, that would have been very interesting for sure. But for him, I'm sure he wanted the power of like, ooh, governorship. It's so he wanted to go for broke, and obviously he lost. But I mean, maybe for him, it's like, well, now he's introduced himself as his America First candidate. He can continue down that path. How many times have you been asked Vance or Rubio? Dude, you understand, like, think about this. Solo. Think about it. We're not even at the stage where the primaries are being theorized, and I've gotten that question 1,000 times. So think about after the midterms. If I do a stream, it's probably going to be 50 questions about that. Fishback wouldn't have gotten the following. I still think he would have gotten a pretty big boost if he's saying the stuff like the anti-Israel stuff, the America First, Fuentes stuff. I think he probably would have gotten a pretty big. I mean, maybe not nearly as much notoriety, but I mean, even running for governor, you're capped to a degree, especially if Donalds wouldn't debate. Donalds doesn't debate. You're looking for viral clips against him, and there's no opening. No, I don't think Bilzerian or Fishback would run for president. Yeah, what is Fishback gonna be? I actually don't even know. What is Fishback's age? I don't think they'd say he's the America First dark horse in 28. I don't think Fishback is old enough even. He's 31. He's not old enough for 28. 31 is, for a politician, young. Mr. Beast says he's going to run for president someday. That's slop. He's going to win. He's going to become president because he's an independent that has a bunch of money and wants to help people. Come on. What is this, a fairy tale? It's like The Rock running for president when people say he's always going to do it. Red Baron pizza. I've had some of the frozen pizzas. Yeah, frozen pizza's not terrible. It's accessible. Maybe I'll buy a frozen pizza. That might be interesting for me. In Oklahoma, 31 is the minimum age to run. Yeah, I think they're all around 30, maybe for governor, something like that. I don't know the exact ages in each state for governor. We're only 3 to 4 years off Fishback's age. Yeah, that is maybe a 5. It depends when his birthday is. Maybe around 5 years younger. If he's 31 right now. The X propaganda was so strong for Fishback it didn't translate. Yeah, the other thing is you have to understand that X propaganda is coming from possibly, I mean, all of the US, all 50 states, probably other countries, things like that. So you're talking about an isolated state versus all of these people from different states that have no ability to vote in this primary. So that's another thing you have to understand and try and interpret. Yeah, my birthday's in September as well. So probably 5 years younger than him, if I had to guess. If he turns 32, I turn 27. He would have been more successful in a House seat. Well, and in a district with there's going to be, you're talking about a governor's race. There's a lot of money spent on that, and there's a big Trump MAGA push. When you get into a certain House race or a seat, it becomes easier. Yeah, I've been to other countries, but nothing insane. I've never been to Europe or Asia. So those are places I have to go, obviously, I guess. California restricting certain tires. They're going to restrict certain air you can breathe at this rate with California. Those liberal states, they twist themselves into just a regulatory pretzel. You're not gonna be able to do anything, and it's just too much governance, and it's hard to build anything. You're going to Thailand. Yeah, Thailand's become a big spot for Americans. I know. Indonesia, like the islands. Singapore. Singapore is very wealthy. Very wealthy. Travel, it'll change your perspective. Yeah, I mean, travel is good for life experience. I don't know about changing your perspective. You travel to these places for like a week and stay in a hotel, but it depends how much you get exposed to. You're going to Rome and Paris. Yeah, those are always obviously hot spots. They're the hottest spots for the American tourists. London. Berlin has a lot of amazing architecture. Truly, a lot of those European cities are just You don't even realize it until you actually get a full scope of the city, you know, everything that it's got. Thailand is where Connor Murphy drowned. Yeah, that dude. Well, that dude had some big issues. He had like some type of cheekbone implants or something. I don't know, trying to look like a Chad. It's the looks maxing stuff. The Eagle's Nest. Well, I mean, a lot of it's destroyed, but you're right. The Eagle's Nest is still there, but the Berghoff is destroyed. Fishback only got 7%. He got about 11%, I would say. I don't know what the exact numbers are. Bulgarian got almost 19%, basically. Fishback got 10.5%. Donald's was about 48. Jay Collins with 25. Maybe the DeSantis connection helped him a bit because Donald's didn't get the DeSantis, and maybe that is part of the reason why DeSantis didn't want to endorse Donald's because Collins was running. Yeah, they bombed the living hell out of the Berghoff, man. They were bombing the hell out of everything in 1944 in Germany. Collab with Red Eagle Politics. Yeah, he was on vacation, I think. So, but yeah, maybe in the future. You're worried Newsom will fool people into thinking he's competent? I mean, Newsom is like the establishment pick for the left. They might go with him, and then they'll have to try and rally the DSA behind him. But he's definitely more establishment, so that would be interesting. There's going to be like an all-out war if the establishment really wants Newsom and some DSA person. But you know, those people, they talk a big game, but then they end up just voting for Newsom. A lot of those socialists will just vote for Newsom because they say the MAGA candidate is so extreme and so bad, we have to. But who knows? Yeah, that cathedral is amazing. I mean, you would think you look at some of these buildings. I mean, why wouldn't the United States build something amazing? I don't really understand it. I mean, think about what, you know, Rome and Greece get remembered for. Why wouldn't the US? I mean, you've got the money to do it. You could literally tax countries and make $20 billion a year easily and just put it into this ridiculous project. I just don't know why you wouldn't do that. Like, they just don't want to build anything. You build things just to brag about your country. It's what it is. You visited the Eagle's Nest in early May of 1992, like a couple of weeks after Hitler's birthday. People Place, yeah, I mean, April 20th. People placed flowers underneath the remains of his house. That's an interesting story. Your opinion on the Golden Dome? The Golden Dome is going to go down as one of the most. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how they execute it, and maybe they already. I'm sure they already have missile defense systems, but it's like, yes, it's the most obvious thing. If you can somehow stop a lot of the hypersonic missiles, I mean, obviously you should invest heavily. The United States cannot get invaded. We will never get invaded. Not with how powerful we are, not based on there's just no way. They're not going to invade Mexico. They're not going to invade Canada. I mean, that's the only way we could get invaded is invasions from other countries, but the only way we can really get hit is through the air. So you might as well have yourself insulated as much as possible. That's how I look at it. Where's the Golden Dome going? I think it's going in Canada. I think they're gonna put it in Canada. They've done a partnership there or something. You have to understand because of the Earth's curvature, you want to shoot the missiles down from Russia. You need to put it in Greenland or Canada. Thought the Golden Dome was silly because you didn't know they were using satellite-based interceptors as opposed to ground-based ones. It's actually pretty smart. Don't we have good enough missile defense? Well, I think missile defense might be one of the most important things for the U.S., so prioritizing investment into it with an actual program seems smart. I don't have Starlink. No. Who do you think told Tim Pool the Kirk info? I don't know how that happened. That was weird. I don't know if he's ever talked about that. He shouldn't have said that. Discouraging to see Fishback not even win second place. Yeah, I mean, this is not a good result for him. There's really no two ways about it. I mean, they can say he campaigned well, and he connects with voters and younger voters, things like that. But yeah, it wasn't a great result for him. You think the moon landing was fake? I don't really have much of a really. I'm not really interested in looking that up. I don't think it was fake, mainly because there was a major space race and the Russians had eyes on what we were doing, and I think if we faked it, they would call us out. Because Russia, they won everything else in terms of like the first person to orbit, the first thing in orbit, things like that. But we got the first person on the moon, and that was the big one. Thoughts on flock cameras? Well, I would hope flock cameras would not be necessary. The problem is we have so much major crime in these big cities, so it's really a dual-edged sword with flock. And I mean, I do think that the police states the constant surveillance, people are going to push back against it. And I wish it wasn't even necessary. I wish we had limited crime but these major cities. Alberta needs approval from at least 7 provinces. Yeah, that would probably get challenged or something. I mean, okay, so the thing with Alberta is I don't think they're going to get 50% even because they need over 50%, but I don't even think it'll matter, honestly, because I don't think that referendum is going to pass. Maybe if people show polls of it being closer, I'll change my mind. Right, I mean, flock cameras put them in the really high crime areas. I mean, but you do kind of normalize surveillance states to a degree when you do that, even. Yeah, I saw Dan Bilzerian lost. He got about 18%. Not surprising. Yeah, they have sovereign. I know that about First Nations. I think they're going to try and get around that or get through it. Quebec has a better chance of separating. I have seen Quebec's numbers are right around where Alberta's is in terms of separation, but they're both at like 30%. But Quebec was really the ones to flirt with it in the 90s. Flock is a private company. They can hold data. But I don't even know if it's about Flock necessarily. It's about the idea of a surveillance, constant surveillance state. Because if it's Flock or the government, I mean, does the government having all of it make it better? I mean, versus a private company, it's bad either way. Alberta referendum won't go through. I'm from Alberta, and it's clear it won't. Only rural. I don't think you're from Alberta. You've been talking about like gripers in America. You're really from Alberta, Tanner? I don't know about that, but I do think if we could get someone from Alberta, I do think it probably has a very low percentage chance. And if somebody on the ground says, yeah, it's not going to pass. Yeah, Alberta is definitely the most right wing. That doesn't necessarily mean. Oh, I didn't even open the blinds up. God damn it. I don't know why you want a Sunday night stream so bad. Yeah, so those races are pretty much done.
I got a call from Paul Renner and James Fishback tonight. And they, hold on, I'm going to tell you why in a moment. And they congratulated me and all of us on a hard-fought victory. And my conversation with both of them is very simple. Congratulations. Let's go beat David Jolly in November. You see, because individual opinions and passionate supporters are the beauty of our conservative movement. But tonight, the primary is over. Tonight, we put aside our differences. Tonight, we are one united Republican Party.
Really with this?
You see, I remember Erica and I were sitting around a fire pit last year with friends, and we were talking about this campaign, and we were talking about the future of Florida. No matter the issue or the policy, the conversation...
Yeah. Yeah, he is doing well with younger people, I guess, if these numbers are right. Winning the colleges. Won't debate. Who, Byron Donalds? I'm trying to find Fishbacks. Did he give a speech? That's an interesting Senate race. 5-point lead. A pollster. Yeah, I'm sure he was gracious in defeat, Fishback. You're 6'8", I'm sure. I'm so sure. Fishback blamed Fuentes. No, I doubt it. What's up, Dan? Appreciate the streams, yeah, no problem. Do you think Donalds has the potential to be one of the best GOP governors? No, I don't think he's going to be nearly as good as. But at this point, does it even matter? Because the state is already so far Republican. I mean, it's more about just staying the course. Are you going to any NFL games? I mean, probably not. I don't plan on going to any. You wouldn't want to join the U.S. The Canadians, yeah, I think Canadians. The state's just, or the country is just too liberal. You guys, your demographics are going to get annihilated. Your state's, your country. I keep saying state. Country's just too liberal. Michelle Tafoya. Yeah, I remember that the NFL reporter. Alaska primary going to take 2 weeks to count. Yeah, the system that they have. Yeah, and that's the thing with Florida. We kind of got spoiled tonight, though, how fast they count. It's pretty crazy. But those Florida races, they were over before they even started counting. I mean, there was never any question. It wasn't like the Wisconsin Democratic primary. Should you put money on Ohio State to take it all? I don't think so. I don't think Ohio State will win it all this year. I mean, it's always a possibility with the Buckeyes, but I don't think it's likely. Yeah, that's why I've said I don't want Canada to join the United States. It would be bad. I mean, unless we didn't give them voting rights, but they would demand voting rights, and there'd be too many people. It'd just be a mess if we took on all of the provinces. Canada, the U.S. are better when they are separate countries. You believe your country can be saved? We had conservatives in power from 2006 to 2015, and it was the best years. Yeah, I mean, you technically almost had a conservative win recently. You think Trump kind of caused that. I'm sure some of the Canadians do, but Carney winning. Yeah, the dude's obsessed with the Sunday streams. I don't know why. We admit Alberta into the Union in exchange for Puerto Rico. They would be a 21st century. Yeah, I don't think they would take Puerto Rico. I don't think they would accept that. The Canadians wouldn't accept that. Your dark horse bet is Ole Miss. I think it's going to be really tough for Ole Miss, honestly. We should get rid of Puerto Rico. Well, I mean, Puerto Rico offers, I mean, having territory gives you a strategic advantage from a geopolitical standpoint. So having Puerto Rico does give you certain advantages, but Puerto Rico, it's like it's a welfare territory for the US for sure. There's pros and cons to it not being a state. Certainly some big pros for Republicans. Will you be doing college football streams? Maybe I'll do college football. I don't know yet. I think I have some pretty cool graphics I could do for like a college football Saturday. I'm not sure if I want to do it. I mean, but the thing is with Trump, it's like if your country is deciding elections off of another leader, I don't know about that, man. I mean, that's a little pathetic. I mean, you're going to blame Trump for the reason conservatives lost. Like, shouldn't the country have some self agency at that point? I mean, it's your own election. You have a liberal problem in that country. There's just too many liberals in it. You can't. It's not going to be able to operate, and there's not going to be any semblance of demographic controls. Chances of a recession. It's the recession is never likely. It's never likely. The economy can be bad, but it's not a recession. You'd rather be in the European Union? It's just it's just extremely like liberal globalist. Trump didn't win the Rust Belt by a crazy amount in 24 down. Vance will be able to hold onto enough of them. Yeah, I know that is a concern. What happened? I mean, maybe that it's a better situation where Vance is seen more as like a being from rural Ohio. It might be a little bit better, but yeah, it's a hard thing to reason with. Those margins were really slim in the Rust Belt. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Alex is on another grift at this point where now he's gone back to that conspiracy stuff and for these people it's all storylines they have to make about each other and you know. Yeah, the electoral map helps slightly when they update that. Georgia pulling Dem voters out of nowhere. You look at the precinct maps. Dude, Georgia, they got so many like black migration into those area into Atlanta. Yeah, that's a huge storyline. 40 trillion in debt doesn't matter. Yeah, if it keeps going up, it is going to matter because the interest is going to be too much. The interest payments are going to be too high. If we keep having more and more debt, the percentage. Exchange students. Yeah, they gamed. I mean, what's the point of exchange? I just don't. I mean, the country's already globalized enough as it is. Yeah, I don't know how much I would factor in the registered voters, man. When it gets to that, I don't think you can do that. It's not the registered voters are not what you would look at first. The state is too close to say, well, we have more registered voters, so we're gonna win. It's too the margin is too close. I mean, if they make up ground in the registrations, that's good. It's a maybe a sign, but I wouldn't really read too much into it. Someone were to call in, would you handpick them? Well, it would presumably be through, a place where I could see their name, their username. You thought Georgia was Republic? Yeah, it was. It's part of the South. I mean, it's a prototypical Republican state until the mid 2010s. People started saying it was going to shift, and now it's a swing state basically. Yeah, probably Zoom. Georgia had a lot of interstate immigration into it. A lot of African American voters into Fulton County. Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Yeah, Vance could still take it. Trump won Georgia by 3 in 24. Would ruin James Fishback. An online campaign appealing to younger people versus old in a primary when older people overwhelmingly vote. And the country is just not being that, vehemently anti-Israel and more nationalist, I guess, in a sense. They're just not there right now. Cameras off for Zoom. Yeah, I would hope. I would hope. Byron is going to overdevelop and destroy wildlife. Yeah, I heard about that with the data centers. I mean, there's a happy medium, but yeah, it could be a problem. Yeah, I don't really feel the need to update my profile pic, honestly. I was going to update it. I had photos ready, but I don't think it looked. It's just like I don't know. You were watching the 2024 election, my election, while sleeping in your truck, and now you bought a house. What a great story. Mixing with white Hispanics. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. But it depends, like, the classification of white Hispanic, I guess. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't think I would want to see these people. You know how awkward that would be? It's probably for the best. But honestly, if I was calling into a fucking stream, I wouldn't want to have my camera on. Fuck that. Your lawyers are coming to my house. Dude, you've created this entire story. Paxton Tellerico. I'll say Paxton wins by around 3 points. Are you a football channel or politics? Well, luckily there's no law that I have to be either one, so. Yeah, I've seen what you look like. You look like a normal guy. Not Pepe, I've seen what you look like. You look normal. Yeah. We don't need an incident like that. Yeah, Paxton's not a great candidate. It's not that I said Paxton was a great candidate, but I said I think he'll win in Texas. Any Greenland updates? I haven't really followed. I doubt there's anything big. I probably would have seen it. You spread the viewers thin. What's your plan for increasing? Well, I mean, dude, at this point, there's really you can't really do it at this point, man. You want me to focus on one thing? It's like, I mean, I've been doing these different things for so many years now. I don't think it really is. I mean, I'm gonna focus on college football for much of the season. I've already put out a lot of videos on college football because I'm trying to get the algorithm coaxed. Tellerico is the new Beto. I know, but the thing is, at a certain point, I mean, the migration into the state is going to turn it possibly. When was your last date? Like maybe a year and a half ago. Congrats on 320K. That was hit a while ago at this point. I mean, yeah, Eli, what's up, man? Tellerico hates Christianity, despises Western civilization. I mean, that's most of the liberals. But it's just normie liberal slop is what he spews. Like, moderate. He tries to spew moderate Democrat stuff. That's what he's going to talk about. Dude, you always got to sub watch me. I don't know why. You have a lawyer that's Italian. She's good looking. Oh, that's my lucky day. What do I think about the midterms? I think the Republicans sneak by in the Senate. They lose the House. I think that's probably the play. Republicans maybe could 52-48 the Senate. They lose the House. The Dems win not an extreme advantage, but maybe like 225. Female cops, do we really need them? Like the desk jobs is fine. They shouldn't be out in the field. Yeah, Michigan might flip. That's why the Senate may be even in a better position than we think. El Sayed, Rogers. How does Rogers do? Yeah, I think Rogers wins right now by a few points, honestly. It'll be very close and contentious, I'm sure. What originally got you fascinated with Greenland? Just the perspective of territorial acquisition. Thoughts on Banana Boat? I'm not a big fan of that type of stuff. I mean, that's like a musical if you watch that. I was watching it. It is a musical. They brought on some lady. Do you think college apps is a bad idea to start a Turning Point chapter? What do you think for college? Oh, application? For a college application starting a Turning Point chapter, I have no clue, honestly. I mean, there's got to be. I mean, it's like an extracurricular political thing, but they probably discriminate against that type of shit because it's Republican. I don't know. Yeah, Ohio being you're talking about a general election, Ohio being safe. I agree. Rafa the goat. Yeah, that dude was pretty far right wing. Josh Hawley. He's a young and up and comer. We'll see. I liked his questioning of Dr. Fauci. I'm not gonna lie. He's like, "What's up, Doc?" And then Dr. Fauci was like aroused by his voice. But it was pretty funny. Now my sleep schedule, I mean, it's like 1 a.m. He's like, "Let's try something, Doc. Let's have a moment." Do you think female promiscuity will eventually subside when younger girls realize men aren't committing to them after finding themselves in their 20s? Yeah, Custard, you're right. There has to be a market correction, but I don't think the market correction is going to happen for another few years. But I think there has to be a market correction. You would hope. But a lot of this is just funneling women into sororities and college life, and that's how they become sluts. It would make a great AG. I mean, maybe we're gonna see him question Fauci again. Ohio governor's race. You think it's interesting? It's a poor, not a great candidate quality for Republicans. The Michelle Tafoya, it's a misprint. That's what they have her on twice. It's a misprint. My son Hunter, you're a Biden. Act like it. But then this fat dude plays Joe Biden. It just didn't make sense. You're a Biden. Act like one. Yeah, what was that one thing? Oh, the musical. The January 6th musical. I gotta look that up tonight. The January 6th musical and My Son Hunter trailer. The January 6th musical was probably better, though. He's like, you stormed in and overtook the U.S. Capitol, but I didn't break any laws. Name the law I broke. Obstruction? Trespassing? You stormed in and overtook the United States Capitol, but I didn't break any laws. The boomer dad? Oh, the boomer dad. No, I haven't really done any videos on the history. I was gonna do a video on all the U.S. purchases. I haven't done it yet, though. Yeah, My Son Hunter. That's a great movie with a fat Joe Biden. Like what did they have to like cast a fat Joe Biden? It just where's the immersion with that? Man, why was there all that good stuff happening? I guess that was in 2024. Maybe. Wait, what's the one lady's name? Remember Peter Dosey and Corinne Jean Pierre or whatever? They were dating. Why are some of these conservatives on X calling sorority girls being whores and shaking it based? They're trying to take the culture, basically. I mean, most of those sororities, those girls will end up being conservatives. But I mean, no, I don't think that's good. I think that system is bad, and it does make them whores. Would you have gone to January 6th? Probably not. But I'm not even like a political figure, so I don't have to even make that decision. "2024 streams." Yeah, I had a lot more energy then, didn't I? Not that it's not that it's hard to stream now, but I mean, there's a lot more information, a lot more news happening in 2024, a lot more questions, a lot more viewers. I mean, are you talking about someone? I never really defended Vivek. Yeah, Vivek did say that we have a bad culture because we don't focus on school enough. Would you ever choose to live in a state with income taxes? Feels like it's BS. Well, the thing is with income taxes is they tend to get you on property taxes if there's no income tax. It depends though. We have like a 3% income tax in Ohio, 3.5 maybe. But I would never live in a state that has 11% income tax like California. I just can't do it. But again, like some of the states like Texas, no state income tax. You're charged out the wazoo on property taxes. Yeah, if she's in a sorority, it's fucking problem. Why don't you run for Congress so I don't turn into Bolzarian? No, it's a joke. But I don't know. streamers don't directly translate into politics. 100%. Yeah, people have to understand that. Like, look at what happened to Cenk. He didn't even get like he didn't even get like a single voter in the Democratic primary. Cenk Uygur. If Indian culture is so much better, why doesn't he run for office there? Yeah, I don't think he specifically said Indian culture. I mean, everyone could kind of understand the inference he was making, though. But yeah, I mean, now these Indians are coming over and they're saying we're taking over and all this. It's just stupid. Like, why don't we just stop the immigration? These people are saying they're just taking over. We just don't want it. Like, the country has been psyoped into thinking we're like, we've always had all these different races here. It's just, it's not how it was. Like, the foundation of the country is just a total psyop for people they don't understand. They really don't understand how the country was founded, the immigration laws, how strict they were, what the founding fathers thought. They don't get any of it. So their modern arguments don't make any sense because it always has to be based off of a historical precedent. The historical precedent was an extremely strict, restrictive immigration, which allowed the United States to bring in a bunch of white people from Europe who contributed greatly to taxes, and they were net positive in terms of taxes versus welfare. And that creates a powerhouse like the United States. And that's just not happened the past 70 years. The people that we're bringing in, it's not the same. People fundamentally don't understand that. Yeah, I mean, other cultures definitely have they're more akin to schooling, and especially Asian cultures, but the vaccine, yeah, that bullshit thing, that was disgusting, really. That's like Hunger Games type shit with the people watching, the rich people watching. It's like they're mocking you when they dance. Well, immigration was always racist, the policy on it for 200 years. Mhm. Meanwhile, other countries have to find ways to prevent their best talent from moving to America. You know, they can keep them. That's good with us. We want to have an actual culture in America. We don't want to be a globalist cesspool. They can keep their best talents and to develop them. What about you, the lawyers? Yeah, the lawyers can stay in Peru. That's my opinion on that. The lawyers should stay in Peru and help the Peruvian economy. Yeah, but the immigrants are like 65% liberal, so they're not. They're most of them are not conservative. Mamdani hates the culture of the United States and is a slap in the face of a true America First progressive like Bernie. I like that's a very good take. Yeah, because that turns them against each other. America's past the point of being ethno-nationalist. But I mean, like, even me, think about it. Even me identifying how the country was, all these people are like, well, we're way past that. You have to accept your replacement. That's what these people are telling me now. It's like, well, this is just, this is like a rigged game. I mean, obviously, we're going to try and stop the immigration at this point. And I'm not saying, well, we're going to be able to deport all of them or whatever, but it's the point of it is historically the way the United States became great was very racist immigration policy. Think about that. Has anyone even said that in the public? Fishback made a speech. I thought he already spoke. Mhm. The big scoop. It's just Florida elections. Tyler Oliveira, the journalist guy. Mhm. Wanting to improve culture. Oh, you talk about Vivek with what he said? Uh, I don't know, man. I mean, he was pretty clear. He was more arguing Asian culture versus American culture, saying we need to be more like Asians, basically. Mhm. Oh yeah, you got the birth. Your parents practice the birth tourism. No, you're right. You are an American citizen. That's right. How do I feel about the state of Ohio? His leadership. Well, Ohio has gone more conservative, so we're happy about that. But yeah, I don't think Vivek was a great candidate for the state. In electability sense, he has a lot of money, so maybe he'll make up for it. Yeah, I would say Michigan is a toss-up at this point. Oh, it's Natalie Harp, and liberals have to come out and say this is the affair. Ooh, the affair. Just like Ossoff said, they have to like hint at it. Oh, this. When he was talking to Teddy Roosevelt. That was the inauguration. The quartering. Jane Daniels number situation. I think I think it's dumb. He shouldn't do that. He's too entitled. I mean, dude, like honestly, if you're a player, even you win the Heisman, bro, you go like 8, 9, and 3 or whatever, you don't even make the playoff. You're not having your number retired, man, for one season. Or he was there for 2 seasons, but still. A fair true odds. Imagine. Poly market. The affair. So now we're gonna have to watch Democrats play coy and not say that Trump is having an affair, but just keep hinting at it. That's the point of politics we're at. The quartering debated Alex Jones. That's a heavyweight matchup. That's a heavyweight matchup, yeah. But why is Alex Jones now? I like Alex. I mean, I used to watch him. He's very entertaining. But now he's back on the conspiracy slop. And it's like, I guess. But now he's with, oh, Candace won the debate. And come on. Mike Vrabel, he's the football version of Vivek. Yeah, he did do something about that. Vrabel is an ass for that. If he did do something like that, it's yeah. You do something like that, you're gonna be disliked. You're as American as me. Are you? Are you though? Are you though? Outside Michigan State football, any chance they come back to legit relevancy? Well, they got Pat Fitzgerald now. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty tough for Michigan State football. They have to. I mean, you could say, well, they can do what Indiana did, but it's just such one in 1,000 type. They got to get a group of 6 coach men. Try and get the next Signetti. No, I don't know what you do. I mean, there's always a chance with the portal and roster, but I think Fitzgerald is probably not the right guy to do that. Fitzgerald is more of like a hardened, old school type coach. I'm not sure how well he would really work with like roster turnover. But to me, you need to like, if you're MSU, you need to look and try and find a younger coach at like an up and coming Big 12 school or ACC school or group of 6 and poach them. That's how you make the ultimate jump. If you're a troll, you'd be an American born and raised. You could be a troll from another country, though. That's not likely, but well, I don't know if I would say it's an endless war. I mean, if it keeps lasting, I mean, it's only been 4 months. No, I think it's bad, trust me, but if there's an endpoint within like 6 months, I mean, you'll admit you're a troll, however, you're an American. No, wait, you're a troll? I didn't know that. I thought your team of lawyers were coming. You're trolling me with that. It's just a troll comment. Yeah, but the immigrants that come from Latin America, about 65% of them vote Democrat. He's gonna lawyer up. You should have heard it. No, no, it's an entire thing. It's an entire thing. It's an entire troll arc. No, those aren't the same people. They're not the same people. I would be shocked if they were. Daniel, it's just stop, man. It's such a niche thing, too. Penn State drug ring? I didn't hear about that. Penn State has more issues now. Yeah, I saw their stadium. Their renovations coming along at Beaver Stadium. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the live stream. Like the stream down below. James Fishback loses. Dan Bilzerian lose. The internet loses, I guess. The internet lost, right? The internet lost tonight, I guess. Internet candidates. All right, guys, I'll see you later.